Hello, are you ready for a lunchtime story? Are you sitting comfortably? Good, because today I have a story about a little Siamese cat who always dreams about going to the circus. Do you guys enjoy going to the circus? Well, today I got a story for you guys, and this story is called Skippyjon Jones, Cirque de Ole, and it's written and illustrated by Judy Schachner. So let's begin. Oh, look. Looks like he's doing a circus act to a toy kitten while his sisters are actresses wearing pink tutus. So, yeah. Skippyjon Jones was a real high wire Henry. As you guys can see here, he's doing a tightrope act. You know, like when you guys see it like in a circus act before? Like when one of the circus acts tightrope walk and then they land on a big net. I've seen those before, but I gotta go to the circus one day. And that made his mama as worried as a worm in a wading pool. "Oh, my fleas," wailed Mama Junebug Jones. "Come down from that wire before you break all your bones." "He can't hear you," sang his sisters Jujubee, Jezebel, and Jillyboo. "Skippy's up in the squirrely world." Look at that. He's with the squirrels up on the wire. The girls were right. The kitty boy was performing tail-tingling tricks on the telephone wire above them. "That's amazing," gushed the girls. "He should join the circus." "Circus berserkus," groaned Mama. "I'm calling the fire department." "Fire department?" repeated Jillyboo. "Skippy's not on fire. He's on wire." Well, it's the best thing to call the fire department so that way, in case if you're on a telephone wire or on a roof, we don't want you to end up in the hospital or end up getting hurt or anything. So yeah. But before Junebug Jones could press a button, the kitty boy did a triple spin backflip dive right into Mama's apron pocket. "That was really good for Chihuly," said Jujubee. "The word is Chihuahua," said Mama, frazzled, "and he is not that. Skippyjon Jones is a Siamese cat." Then she lugged her catch of the day back to his room for a time out and a big talk. Well, you shouldn't be, like, doing some tightrope walks, because doing some tightrope walks is very dangerous and you can end up falling and end up hurting yourself. "What did you think you were doing up there, you and those squirrels on a wire in midair? What if you tripped and fell on your head? You'd have to spend months in a hospital bed." Then as Junebug Jones pawed at her hives, she let the truth slip about cats and 9 lives. "I wish we had 9, but we only have 1. So think about that, my Siamese cat." Then she closed the door. Ignore the background, guys. So Skippyjon Jones is eventually in timeout for doing a circus act, which is dangerous in real life. Like, don't try this at home, kids, because you don't want to end up like Skippyjon Jones. So anyways, let's continue. The kitty boy was thinking all right about bouncing on his big boy bed. "Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones and I don't have 9 lives, so what's the big deal? Hey, did I just see flies?" Indeed he did, and he chased one over to his mirror. where he ate it. "Holy smaquito!" exclaimed the kitty boy. "Love them crunchies." Then he looked into the mirror, and using his very best Spanish accent, he said, "If I have one but life to live, muchacho, let me live it as a chihuahua." Oh, look, he's looking at a chihuahua in the mirror. I love that every time when Skippyjon Jones talks to himself. In less time than it takes a flea to fly to Florida, Skippyjon put together a fine costume while he sang in a moi soft voice. "Oh, my name is Skippito Frisquito, and I'm one handsome daredevilito. I'm physically fit, every part, every bit, just right for a circus pochito." Well, it looks like he's using one of his sister's tutus, and he's dressing up pretty goofy. Let's find out. In the meantime, over in the sewing nook, Mama was attempting to have a sensible conversation with the girls. Where is Jilly Boo's tutu?" asked Mama. "The Chiwulu has the tutu," replied Jujubee. "Whatever for?" asked Mama. "Because Chiwulus wear tutus," said Jezebel. "And cows wear muumuus," added Jujubee. "And boo-boos wear band-aids," continued Jezebel. "And I need a nap," moaned Mama. Uh-oh, looks like one of Skippy's sisters' tutus went missing. But the Chirulu wasn't thinking tutus, muumuus, or boo-boos. He was thinking of flying through the air with the greatest of fleas, just like the dog on a flying trapeze. Well, looks like Skippyjon Jones is about to go on another adventure in the closet. So let's find out. Until thump, he planted his paws in a perfecto landing on the turf outside the Cirque de Ole, shouted his amigos, Los Chimichangos. "Hola," hollered back Skippito Frisquito, the great acrobatito, to his barking buddies. "Hold your ponies, Papito," declared Poquito, Tito the smallest of the small ones. "Have you grown a bigito?" "No, I did not grow a mustachito," answered the gatito. "It's just part of my costume." "Bueno," said Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones, "because we need you to grow something mucho más importantito." "But what can be more important than a mustache, muchachos?" asked Skippito. Well, it looks like they're outside of a circus. I can see another circus right over there with the zoo animals. So let's continue. Los musicos," said all the papitos. "Not the lumpitos giganticos," declared Skippito. "Oh, sí, muchacho," said Poquito Tito. "The muscles." Then Don Diego pulled an old circus poster out of his right ear and let it unroll. "Now, do you get it, dude?" It says here, "The first time in America, Tinkling Bros and Cirque de Olo presents the tiny trembling tower of power." And it looks like he's using his big muscles right here. I seen it like that in one of the circus posters. "Oh, I get it. All right," said Skippito. "It means I am low dog on the totem pole." This made the chihuahuas twist and shout. "Oh, yes, that's right, Skippito. Your cabasa is just what we need-o. And your muscles must grow just in time for the show, or else we will all crumble-ito." Then all the burritos snuck under the skirts of the big top. I wonder what's gonna happen. Look at that. This is like a big old circus. So let's find out. First, the muchachos tippy-toed by the caperucita practicing on her pony. Then they slipped past the payaso, putting his paper-popping puppy through his paces. But it wasn't until they reached the Elefante that the papitos had to worry. Watch your step, amigos, warned Poquito Tito. We are but pogues to her. We are not fleas, said Skippyjo. We are chihuahuas. As you guys can see here, Skippyjon Jones is in a circus with all the animals. You can see an elephant, a horse, a pig, a raccoon, and a puppy. This is pretty neat. And that wasn't all the doggies had to watch out for. They saw leones and tigros and osos. Oh my. Look at that. It's kind of like a zoo. You get to see the bears, tigers, and lions. And you see a little monkey right there. Pretty cool. But the most dangerous animal of all lay sleeping like a baby in his cage. Let's take a peek, Popitos, said Skippyjo. Let's just take his charge, suggested Poquito Tito. Not his costume, declared Skippyjo. Alarm, por qué? Because it will look mucho mejor on you, senor. Then they raced like rabbits over to their dressing room.
That's cute.
So, it says here, Bootsy, Strungle Boot, the strong dog ADLB's a mean mad muscle with a meatball for a brain. So it looks like a puppy's sleeping and they're taking the costume. So let's find out. Oh, it's an inflatable costume. I remember I saw that when I saw Weird Al Yankovic live at the Rio Rancho Event Center for the Bigger and Weirder tour. He used it in the Fat song. Alright, let's continue. But the circus waits for no dog. So with the speed of a spitball, the Pochitos changed their Chico into a world-class circus perro con musculars. First they gave him a vitamina, then they pulled on his new toige. It's too big, complained the gatito. No worries, wolfed Don Diego. We will pump you up. And pump the Perus did singing. Umpapa, lumpapa, lito. We'll give you the muscles you need, though. 'Cause strong you must be for the triple to be, so we don't all go boom tumbolito. Then it was the moment of truth as they floated Skippyjo out under the big top. I remember one of the backstage crews, I'm sorry for being off topic again. I remember one of the backstage crews used it in the Fat song, and that's how Weird Al transformed into Fat, parody of Bad by Michael Jackson. And he ate all of those donuts backstage during the Bad Hair Day tour. So let's continue. Okay. Perros poured out from every point and piled on top of Skippyjo's grande cabeza. Up, up, up. They climbed until they formed a perfecto tower of tiny, trembling chihuahuas. And beneath the tower stood the power dough and shaky as 5-day-old jello. But just as the pups were about to make circus history. Oh, that's pretty cool. Skippyjon Jones is a good circus act. Bootsy's struggle boot The strong dog strutted out into the center ring and bit the behind of his very own trudge. "Ole!" shouted the crowd. "Oh no!" cried Skippyjo, as the tiny trembling tower of power tumbled from his head. "Ta-da!" blasted La Banda as Skippyjo flew up into the rafters like a punctured balloon. "Woohoo!" hooted the crowd as the gatito caught hold of El Trapezio. Then he flew through the air with the greatest of squeeze. Well, looks like Putsy knew about Skippy stole his costumes. And you can't be stealing things that don't belong to you. The brave little cat on the flying trapeze, but just as he reached the highest point, Skippyjo let go and dazzled the audience again with a double twirly squirrely twist onto the tightrope. But the tightrope acted just like a slingshot, and thwop, it sent Skippyjo up, up, up to the tippity top of the tent. Then shoop, down, down, down he dove. Kabasa first into the cotton candy kitten ball cannon. Well, looks like Skippyjon Jones is finally doing tightrope rock for the first time. But let's find out what will happen next. Oh, looks like he got shot out of a cannon. So let's continue. When Putsy Strongboot, the strong dog, was waiting to light the fuse, drum roll, por favor, ordered Don Diego. But, then, kaboom! El Skippito Frisquito, the great Aquabadito, blasted out of the circus, out of his closet, and right out of his room. "Smack-a-doodle-doo," shouted the kitty boy, as he collided with his mama's head. Wow, exclaimed Jezebel. "Where did he come from?" "He came from the circus, silly," said Jillyboo. Well, that was pretty cool. Looks like Skippyjon Jones flew out of the cannon and into his mama's head. So let's find out what happens. Later that night, after a piece of maple mouse pie, the kitty boy made up a rhyme just for his mama and delivered it with a most sincere bounce. "Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones, but you're the bee's knees, 'cause your cooking is smoking. Hey, did I just see fleas?" asked Mama, beginning to scratch. "Circus fleas," replied the kitty boy proudly. "Circus berserkus," muttered Mama. "Get your collars out, kittens. It's going to be an itchy night." Well, looks like they got the fleas from the circus. You know, fleas, like whenever it passed through a dog or a cat or something. So yeah. The end. Oh look, Skippyjon Jones is dressed as one of the circus performers. Well, that was a good lunchtime story, wasn't it? Well, I had a good time reading with you guys. I'll see you soon.